Hello everyone, welcome back to Banished, Radio with you here in Folsonville, and we are watching our hospital nearing completion. It's almost there, not too far, and I'm pretty happy about that, although as I've mentioned in the past, we still have yet to... We need a physician. We need someone that we can actually put in the hospital in order for this to be a successful place for healing. However, we have the herbalist and we have a lot of... Well, did I say herbalist? I meant to say herbalist. Boy, since this game has come out, I haven't heard nearly as many people going back and forth with how that is pronounced. I just saw we briefly reached the limit with our firewood. That's excellent. Let me see. Yep. Okay. I am so ecstatic about that. I'm almost at a loss for words. We're going to quickly bring this to 1,000, and hopefully that will do well, and we'll reach that before long. Something I realized, and you guys were probably yelling at your monitors during the last episode when I was banging my head against the wall concerning firewood, and that is the part of the reason probably that we weren't getting as much is how long it takes to get wood to our woodcutters. And this one isn't in a bad location because we have good stockpile right next to our Forster's Lodge here, and up here we actually have the same thing. We have a Forster's Lodge, a stockpile, so we can get a lot of quick cutting. This one, of course, is in kind of the middle of nowhere when it concerns wood. We don't have a lot of wood going to this, or nearly as much as we should, unfortunately. We have finished our building of our hospital. That's great. We're going to turn it off for right now, unfortunately. And this is our chapel. I think we'll go ahead and let's start the building of our chapel. There's no reason not to. Again, we can always pause the building if we don't get where we want. So, looks like our herbalist has again reached their limit. Let's go ahead and just take this up to 1,000. They're kicking butt over here and taking names. And if we don't use it all in the future, that's okay. I'm sure we'll find something for it. How are we doing out here with our hunting? We're still doing really well. This particular cabin produces pretty well. I'm very happy about that. Our food is no longer really an issue. I'm very much considering building a boarding house. Not just for the nomads that may or may not come in, but just in case any kind of disaster hits, it gives them a good place to go temporarily until we rebuild housing. Now, hopefully none of those things will happen, but I need to start focusing more on where I want to expand. And I really want to expand this way. I'm thinking today, if I'm lucky, and we have another laborer, which is good news. But what I want to do is I want to start trying to at least get the farms going on out here. So we're going to look into that. Actually, we're going to look into it right now. Let's see. If I wanted to do another pasture. Now, I think a mistake that I made is before I was making these smaller pastures, to me there doesn't seem to be any reason to do that. There's no reason to not just go as big as you can go. So let's find out how big that is, because I don't exactly know. I think, let's see, we can do 14 by 20, 15 by 20, 16. So a 20 by 20 is what it's going to be. And 20 by 20 is pretty big. So, yeah, 20, and you can only do a total of 20 in one direction. Clearly we can't go less and go 21 or 22. 20 by 20 is what we can do. And I think that's exactly what we are going to do. I want to make this a 20 by 20. Do I want to put it here? I'm not sure yet, as more and more people are dying. Speaking of food, no, we're good on food, but I'm trying to think where I would like to put these things, and I kind of wanted to go out here, and we can't because of that, so we'd have to start here-ish. The reserve of stone is low. Well, that's not a huge surprise. We just tried to build a big stone building. So if we went 20 by 20 out here, that's not too bad. We can change where we want to have our little, I don't even know what that is, shed, hut, lean-to, whatever that might be. We can change the direction of where that is. I kind of like it on that side for some reason, but if we put a pasture there, we can move there. And fields, I believe, are the same. Let's find out for fields if 20 by 20 is the same. It is not. Crop fields have to be a different size. What are they, 15 by 15? That's my guess. And indeed that is the case. So 15 by 15 for crops, 20 by 20 for animals, and at some point soon we're going to have to get that going on. We're low. We don't have any laborers. Well, we have some laborers clearly because they're bringing in the materials necessary. They're just going about it in a slow fashion, and it is probably people who don't have work to do, like the farmers. Right now the farmers aren't working because it's winter. We obviously don't have any crops to work on. So the farmers are probably the ones that are gathering the materials and bringing them here. So, while I'm happy to see that, I'm still worried about our population. And what do we have? 30 homes, 24 families. So we still have more homes than is necessarily. Obviously we don't have any nomads at this time. Hopefully soon we'll get another flux. That would be good. Firewood is hovering right around 600. So it seems to me that we're almost producing 200 per woodcutter. I want to go ahead and up what we have. And just as I say that, a trader pulls in a dock. Let's see what they have to offer. Chestnuts and apples. Now, why would they? Oh, they have a lot of them. They're cheap. So it's just food. We don't need anything from them. We're not going to be ordering anything from them. We can go ahead and just politely send him on his way. But while we're here, I want to take our firewood up to 300. And hopefully, 120 won't deplete what we've been working on. And that's the good news. Now, how are we doing here? Still, we need, well, we don't have the resource. That's why also we need stone. Where can I acquire some stone? Out here we have some, so let's go ahead and let's grab some stone. Hopefully that'll about do it. Yeah, let's do that section there. If it doesn't, we'll grab more. I don't want to go on the other side here because then we're going to have to come all the way up and around the bridge. So for right now, I want to go ahead and avoid that. Something else I've noticed, unfortunately, we also don't have any iron. We are running low on some of the basic necessities, and it's kind of a drag. So where did I see some iron? I think it was way up. It was way up here. So let's go ahead, and I know we had this selected at one point earlier, and we just had the herbalist. Loris the herbalist died of old age. I'll tell you what, she worked her tail off in collecting those herbs. That young lady or old lady, boy, she really she produced a boatload. It doesn't seem like it there, but I'm telling you, over her lifespan, we have got herbs to help the town folk here for years and years to come. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Being that we're so low on laborers and people in general, and as we've explained before, they're coming down the pipe here. We have a lot of children and even a decent amount of students, but for the time being, the game is just a tad slow going. It really is. As soon as these adults become more prevalent, we'll be able to get more resources and also get back to our mine, because we haven't been there in a while. We can mine for some ore, and we hopefully can. We've got a lot of stone here that we can go ahead and take, so I'm not as worried about the stone. I mean, there's a boatload of it all up through here, so stone isn't quite my issue. Iron, on the other hand, I don't see a ton. Well, there's a bunch over here, and we may have to at some point soon expand, maybe build a bridge to get over onto this side of our town, so we can get the resources necessary to continue our build. And hopefully soon, rather than later, we'll be able to get into our mine again and get some iron going. Well, as you can see, I've upped the game speed to 10 for the time being to kind of help time pass while we have some of our students become adults. But as I was looking, I noticed that we have 9 of 9 sheep now. So very soon, not only will we be producing more wool, but we will actually have mutton to add to our food count, and we're going to go ahead and very soon, as soon as we're able, we're going to create new pastures, larger pastures, and split the herds up a little bit so we're not dependent on one individual herd each, and we'll be able to have more of a replenishable supply in case we run into a disaster. But I'm excited that we've maxed out on sheep and cows. We have leather, we have wool. What we don't still have, of course, is a tailor, and it is a priority. I've noticed that myself. However, we still have 121 coats. We have coats. We're not in any danger just yet of our citizens not being clothed. So I'm not going to panic about the teacher, or not the teacher, the tailor just yet. We have a teacher as well. And, we've reached our food limit yet again, and that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and let that go. We're still collecting resources from up top here. As you can see, we've got some stones being earmarked. We have some iron being earmarked and collected, it looks like, which is good. And coming back down here, how are we? Well, they've got all the stone necessary, so now we're on to iron. So once we get the iron necessary, they're going to go ahead and start building, and we will get our church going. And of course, in our church, we won't have a priest, but that's okay for now. Again, we will manage as we continue to figure out how we want to rearrange the majority of this area anyway. Well, albeit it says our fuel limit has been reached. Again, it went to 1,000. I want to see that for myself. It sure did. And that means we're going to take this up let's go to 1500. Let's see if we can sustain 1500, because if we can, it'll give us more bargaining chips. We have 858 right now. That's pretty good. We're coming into autumn. We'll be using a little bit. I'm going to add an additional 100 to our trading post. That'll help out just in case somebody shows up with some seeds or those chickens we ordered, because I would like to get the chickens in as well, so we have all 3 different kinds of livestock. Our church is being built. We have all of the supplies necessary, and we can see the builders are sort of hard at work. We even actually have a spare laborer, I believe, is still out there collecting iron for now. I'm going to leave them doing that, but I'm happy that the building is actually going up. In the meantime, I'm going to have to make a decision here very shortly. And here comes another merchant, but we're going to have to make a decision very shortly about how far up we want to put our farms and things. I'm thinking I'm going to go right here with that. These are going to move, and we still have this hill to contend with. Let's go see what the merchant has for us. Hopefully something good. And he has stone. I could use the stone, but not so bad that I'm going to worry about it. However, do I have orders from him? I don't. Okay, I did ask for the stone. Let's ask for iron as well. These are the 2 things that we want. And we could trade for them. We have a lot of firewood, but I don't want to use it just yet because, as you know, we're saving for seeds. Seeds are about 2,500. Right now, we don't have nearly enough to make that happen. So we're going to go ahead and dismiss him and hopefully see him again soon. We have people who are cold, and I'm guessing that can only be because they're too far from their homes. We're still spread a little thin, which is why I want to start condensing. We have this little hill to contend with, is what I was saying. We could put homes around it, I suppose, and a road around it and kind of frame it up a little bit. I just wish that the smaller hills like this, you still had trees growing on them. I think that would look nice. However, I think we're going to go ahead and pull the cord on making... Let's start with our pastures. We said we could have 20 by 20. Do I want to put the pasture right next to the cemetery? That's the main question. We have some laborers that came in right now. That's good news. I think we're going to go... How far up to the top? We can go all the way up there. That's cool. You know what? I'm going to do that. So we're going to build that one. And I'm going to come down 1 space. I'm going to build another 20 by 20. And I'm going to build both of those. And we're going to get a road. I'm going to wait to put the road... The road's going to come down. Should I wait to put the road? You know what? I might as well put the road in now because we don't need these pastures right away. I just want to make them happen. So let's just get a dirt road that comes directly south into this section of what will be town. And I know I have a lot of roads that kind of seemingly go nowhere, and you're absolutely right. I do. They will at some point. I'm building a little strangely, I think, but I do have somewhat of a plan. I think I'll go ahead and put a dirt road in here. We may even build a bridge at some point. Yeah, who knows? That's kind of neat looking. So we've got a couple dirt roads. We're tearing out the resources necessary. How's our church doing? Oh, look at that. And boom, there we are. That's great. Unfortunately, we don't have the people. We will well, we sort of do. Let's up our builders. And I'm going to quickly check clothing again. We're down to 100 coats. Well, yeah, but and just as I was getting ready to replace a tailor, somebody has died of old age. We've lost a fisherman, and we had to have somebody replace them. Let's get some of these buildings going first. Boy, they're really cutting it down. When you're on 10 speed, they really go to town. A 10 speed, it sounds like a bicycle. Yeah, but they really have a lot of wood, which is good news. That we can use to build our boarding house, which I think I'm going to line up. But pause. It's a pretty big building, but I'm thinking we might put it... It's also a neat-looking building. It's not really all that ugly of a building, which is good, because we don't want to have a bunch of ugly stuff. Maybe we'll put the boarding house right near the tailor. You know what? I want a space there, and I don't know why. If I did that, and I get 1 space... yep, this is where the boarding house is going to go. That's exactly where I like it. It just kind of came to me. I don't know why. I think I'm going to have another house right across the street from this house here, which is next to our tailor. But we've got that on pause. Our blacksmith is reaching his limit again. That's good, because we didn't have a whole lot of iron, so I'm actually not going to up that limit. Because clearly 150 tools for the population that we have is just fine, so let's not worry too much about that. How are we doing out here? We have almost everything removed. It takes 76 logs. That's a lot of logs. And look at that. We just lost our last laborer. I'm going to go ahead and take that down just by 1. The builder, Shell the builder, has died. We have a storage for produced goods is near capacity. Now that is market in the barn. It sure is. We're going to need another barn. Okay, well, we were talking about that anyway, and we have yet another merchant. Boy, they're coming in droves now. We're becoming a hot spot. They know that we have a little bit of firewood with which to trade. And look at that, 3125. We don't have, I think, anywhere near that. Oh, they're taking herbs. Get out of town. Okay, before we do anything, let me see. Let's go here. And what do we have? We have 775. Let's take 500 of those. Sure, why not? Let's bring 500. Well, I don't have 500. I need to bring that to inventory. So let's up our herbs to 500 total. Get the game running. He'll stick around. He shouldn't disappear by the time we have those. Now, doing quick math, do I still have enough, though? I mean, is that really going to do what we need it to do? I don't know that it is. So let's see. We have 400 of the firewood. Oh, this doesn't tell us the value. We have to go to the trade window. So we have 400 of the value. Well, that's 1,600. But we also have another 800 of logs, right? No, we only have 400 of logs. So it brings us to 2,000. But if we get the 500 herbs, that's another 2,000. So we'll be able to buy one seed if we can get them here quickly. And they're already here. So let's go ahead and quickly pause the game. What do we want? Well, let's see. What do we have? What do we have in the way of seeds? Trade items. Corn and cabbage is all we have. I already don't remember what he was offering. He did have cabbage. So let's see here. Let's do... Why not do plums? Shall we do plums? Let's do plums. So let's take one of these, and we're going to take our herb, and we'll go all the way to 500 with those. And let's bring in... Boy, my math. Let's see if I do that. Nope. Should have known that. Yeah, we're overpaying. It's going to be 280. Yep, 281. Yeah, let's just do 281. And we'll overpay by unit. No, we need an additional. It's 282. My bad. Okay, so we're overpaying by 3 units. That's fine, but we're going to get a plum seed. And we're going to go into orders, and we're going to take off cabbage, because we don't need cabbage. And we also now don't need plums either. So let's see here. Where did the plums go? I thought they're... Oh, no. I'm sure they're right there. They're right in front of my face. They weren't alphabetical, and it kind of threw me for a second. So let's take off the plum seeds because we have both of those items. We still want all the rest of these, and we can go back here. Now, before we dismiss him, the herbs, I want to bring them all the way back down. We're going to start back at 50, and the reason being, as you're probably well aware, and we'll bring firewood to 200, because we don't want to have them bring all of the herbs, because we only have a couple hundred left. And they will fill this before they do anything else, and that's no good. We can't have that. We have to have them available for our town folk, otherwise they will be unhappy and dead and things like that. Look at that. Our pasture's coming in, almost done here. How are we doing here? We're just now starting to bring in the logs, and this is almost built. And in the meantime, we managed to grab a couple more laborers. I'm still shaky when I assign new things, because every time I assign one, and I deleted my little window down here for some reason. Let's bring that back up. No, not that one. This one. Because, yeah, as soon as they say that, look, somebody else has died. And it is a recurring theme. Every time I think we get close to being able to assign one new person to do something, somebody else dies. That's really going to drive me nuts. So our first pasture has been built. And I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to assign cattle here. And we're going to hit the work, and we don't have a person yet. That's okay. I think it's okay, because what we're going to do here is we are going to empty this and then turn this off. Now that person should quickly become the new herdsman. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't. Right now he's walking around like he doesn't have a job. We have... Maybe it takes a minute to process, because we've got the eight cattle here now, and 2 of 2. Boy, we're just waiting for that to kind of catch up. Waiting for our herdsmen to come in. We have 2 herdsmen. And we're going to tear this down shortly. Why are you not... You should be assigned to your new job. Where are you going? You're working as a laborer right now. Huh, I might have done that backwards somehow. Because clearly we need 2 herdsmen. And it says 1 of 1. Did I not? Oh, hit work. That's better. Now, 2 of 3, which is what we want, because this is no longer being used. As a matter of fact, we can go in here and we can... Where's our remove the structure? So we're going to remove that. We will get some of the resources back from that, which is good news. This one we don't have going yet, and that's okay. Let's see, we want to take this and make it cheap. Now I'm thinking though, you know what I realized before in one of the other videos I saw? When there was a big calamity, when something went wrong, it went from pen to pen fairly close. So these two are kind of close to each other. If something happens, we're kind of screwed. So we're going to put these 2 here, that's fine. But I think the rest of them are going to go, maybe even over here. That might be nice looking too. But we want to separate these so they're not too terribly close. So let's take this, we'll make it cheap, we'll make this work. And we will come down here. We're going to head and empty that. And then we're going to shut that off. And they should be smart enough to figure out, hopefully relatively quickly, that we need our herdsmen to travel from there to there. Look at that. Now we're cooking with gas. Now we finally got it. And oh, here we go. The migration of the sheep. I love when they do this. The scuba diving sheep are one of my favorite things. Look at that. Those sheep hold their breath longer than I can. That's pretty impressive. And they will just go in a row like ducklings into their new pen. And as you can see, now we can hold 25. We already have 11 of 25 sheep in here, so we can hold 25 sheep. We can hold 20 cow. So we may take a small dip in our food here. And the reason being, of course, because we are not going to be slaughtering these anytime soon. We need to make more of them, or they need to reproduce, obviously. And that'll happen before too long. I think we've got plenty of food to weather that storm, so I'm not going to worry about it. I am going to go down here, and we're going to cancel this structure or remove this structure as well. Boy, they already tore that other one down. They will take stuff down with a quickness. I'm very impressed by that. But that is going to do it for this episode. We've got some things going on here. We're growing. Look at that. Our population is going up a little bit. We have children and students coming in. We have, you know what? We have another trader. I'm going to quickly pause the game, though, because we're going to check him out for our next episode. In the meantime, do me a favor. Go ahead and leave a comment in the section below. Let me know what you think about Folsonville and how we're doing over here. And also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And we're going to see you next time for another episode of Banished.